What was your response to finding out about the scandal?
I went into total shock, then shut down.
And then how did you feel when Oprah kind of lifted you out of the ashes?
To this day, Gary, I don't know how I'm ever going to thank her, because in my darkest hour, there was the strongest hand of friendship that you could ever wish to have. And that's why I dedicate the book to Oprah, Prince Andrew, and the girls, because without those people, there would be no me. I don't know where I'd be, really.
Could you live a life that wasn't royalty? Could you see yourself doing something else if you weren't the Duchess of York?
Well, my whole life is my work with philanthropic work and humanitarian work. And if I had money of my own, I would only be doing that. And that's all I want to do and I love to do. And I started my foundation Children in Crisis back in '93, and it's doing so well, and it's 43 schools now. And I love my work, and I love working with the Forum for African Women's Education and giving people the right to an education. And I want to do more and more, and I want to start the first ever Mother's Army, which is a mother's task force. And I just want to make a difference using my platform to do it. But that was what was really sad last May, because I did say to the man, the alleged businessman, that if he invested in my company, he would also have to give $100,000 to Children in Crisis for a school in Afghanistan. And he said he would, and I thanked him profusely. And in fact, I was in tears at one stage, thanking him for his kindness. So it's kind of ironic that it was such a total setup.
Now, could you take us through the moments before the scandal and the setup actually happened?
Yes, in the book I explain it, that there was a businessman who was coming to invest in me on that Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock, and he wanted to build my brand, which is the British Martha Stewart type thing, and he was going to invest in me that day. He said he would, and then what a shame I just didn't go home at 6 o'clock, and instead I went for dinner with this man, thinking he wanted to invest in my business too. So it wasn't exactly out of the blue, because I was seeing other businessmen. So you can see how it was very easy for me to get thinking he really was real, because I had a business plan and I had various other meetings with other businessmen.
Now, you mentioned in the book, and also you've done other interviews, you mentioned that you had a feeling that was not right, that you had a gut feeling that you shouldn't have done it. Why do it?
Well, Gary, when you are in this self-destruct, you don't listen, and everything is a whirl in your head, and you go at such a speed, you don't listen to your instinct, and you override it in order to feed your addiction, which is approval and acceptance. And therefore you blindly go on, thinking that every single person you're going to meet is going to be the solution for the pressure to be taken off me. And if this guy really was real, and he had invested in my company, the pressure would have been taken off, and I would have been able to pay my debts and got clear. But that wasn't real either, because had I got clear, I still wouldn't have been clear, because I hadn't addressed the situation of my little girl at 12 who needs to be heard.
What do you hope people take away from your book and your television program?
I wouldn't presume to think they would take anything away, except I hope that what they do take away is what heals their own hearts, and they realize they're not alone, that they are human beings, and that if I can admit I make thunderous mistakes, then hopefully they can too, and it's okay. It's okay.
Where do you go from here on?
Well, Gary, it's a really interesting question, because I'm going to see how the book does, how the OWN series, the docu-series on the OWN network does, and then I'm going to regroup and see what is the future. I've got a children's book coming out next year called Ballerina Rosie. I've got the Helping Hand series with Sterling Publishing in Barnes & Noble right now. They are a series of 12 books which a parent doesn't know how to deal with bullying at school, or people or going to get separated, or grandpa dying, or whatever it might be. They can read the book to the child, and at the end there is 10 helpful hints to the parent, written by a child psychologist, on what to do with the certain situations they're in.
Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, thank you for joining us.
Gary, you're a great man. Thank you so much, Gary.